Hello, I'm Casey,
And I'm Mackenzie,
and this is Field Notes from the Unknown.
a podcast about your favorite local cryptid. Okay, are we live?
We are.
Oh, hello, Casey.
Hello, our first video recording.
I know I should have fixed my bags under my eyes. I look a little gray.
You look
But it's
beautiful.
fine.
Stop.
Thank you. I have this big old zit right here.
Can't even tell.
Yeah, your bangs are beautiful. It is a snowy day outside. So for the topic today, I would love to transition us to a tropical paradise. Does that sound like a plan?
That sounds
I'm ready.
great. Anywhere where it's warmer than it is here.
Nice, like balmy. I think about like a nice balmy, like 85 degrees. Maybe a little bit hot, but it'd be hot if there weren't like a cool ocean, like ocean breeze fluttering through your hair, and you would hear the sound of the wind whipping through the palm trees. But the island we're visiting today is Puerto Rico, so our own U.S. territory. That should be a state, but here we are.
Speaking of Puerto Rico, by the time this airs, we will already have seen Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime performance.
Bad Bunny, bad. He was so good.
I'm sure that's going to be excellent. I personally
my
can't
God.
wait for it. But anyway,
Me too.
back to sunny Puerto Rico, beach vibes, warm weather. Love it.
I bet that Bad Bunny is also a fan of this cryptid. Do you have any guesses, Casey, for our cryptid of the day?
I'm gonna guess. Is it the Chupacabra?
It is.
Maybe.
It is our
Yeah.
baby, Chupacabra. So we're going to be talking about the famous bloodsucker of Puerto Rico today. So did you know that
Love it.
originally Chupacabra was actually called Chupacabras, which is the plural verb of Chupacabra because it literally means the sucker of goats, plural, not just sucker of one goat.
Sucker of many goats.
Yes, sucker of all of the goats. So Chupacabra comes from the Spanish words chupar, which is to suck, and then cabra, which is goat, as in like leche de cabra or like goat's milk. So quite literally the goat sucker of Puerto Rico.
Ooh.
This is kind of a weird cryptid, and we'll get into a little bit of the dimorphicness of this cryptid, but my favorite Chupacabra was the OG reptilian version. So I want you to picture
Hold
a
on.
creature. What? Yeah. What?
I didn't know there was a reptilian version. Because
Oh, you
like
didn't know
isn't
what
there
the
an
reptilian
actual
was?
No, isn't there like an actual like the dog type hyena Chupacabra, right?
Well, yeah, but that's the less famous one. Hang on. I
That's
need you to
because-
go. I need you to go to a search bar right now and type in Puerto Rican Chupacabra.
Okay.
I need you to visualize this. It's creepy AF because we're talking 4 to 5 foot tall, reptilian creature with leathery or scaly greenish skin, huge oval red glowing eyes that are far too big for its face, creepily slender
that
limbs.
thing.
Yeah, the body like a
Yeah.
kangaroo. Sharp spine starting from the tip of its head all the way down to the end of its long tail. Fangs, a forked tongue. Some say it has wings, some say it doesn't, and then it jumps around like a kangaroo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're starting with the OG Chupacabra. So take in her beautiful visage.
I love it.
She's creepy.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she's a creepy girl. We love her. Or them. Or he. Who knows?
Or they.
It is a blood sucker. So the idea is that she sucks all the blood, internal organs out through a single bite mark. Traditionally, it looks like 3 puncture wounds, like 3 puncture holes in the shape of a triangle. Sometimes people said 1 puncture hole or 2, but most often it's like this weird, like 3 hole, often in the chest. On all the blood is gone out of the victims of this creature.
Has the Chupacabra do they just like goats, or have they sucked blood out of humans too and other animals?
Never humans, but other animals. There were once recorded attacks on children, but no children died. More so scratches. But there's definitely been a lot of various alleged victims of the animal variety.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So let me take you back to the summer of 1975. It is a warm, humid night in the small town of Mocha, a rural farming community in the northwest of Puerto Rico. Allegedly, a farmer came out and found 15 goats, 3 geese, and a pig that were drained of their blood. Weird. Yeah.
If the geese gets me, like they wouldn't fly away.
I guess not. Maybe they're taken by surprise. They were probably inside of a
Is
locked
it the
tank.
chupacabra quick? Is it
Yes,
very
very.
quick?
It's very fast.
Mm, okay.
So initially, authorities thought it was a dog. It was dog attacks, even though there was a lot of weirdness around the crime.
It's always dog
But
attack.
yeah, not a dog attack. Then a cow was attacked. So I guess they decided cows are too big for local dogs, so it couldn't possibly be a dog. So then they started calling it El Vampiro de Mocha, which is the vampire of Mocha. So even
So since
before
it attacked a cow, what is the height of the chupacabra?
4 to 5 feet tall. Yeah,
Okay. Cows can be pretty big.
they can. They can be large babies.
Okay.
So
4 to 5 feet tall.
4 to 5 feet tall. So I guess it took the cow for officials to decide that nope, couldn't have been a dog. Must have been El Vampiro de Mocha. Some locals at the time also thought that it was not the Vampiro de Mocha, but it was actually a satanic cult. 'Cause it was the 70s. This is
Yeah.
a thing
The
that people
satanic
jumped
panic.
to. Yeah, but super weird because all the animals were found totally pale and drained of their blood. And then they found this cluster of 3 puncture wounds in the chest.
Aliens.
Could be. Could be. Cannot rule it out. So so in 75 they hadn't yet coined the name of Chupacabra. So they were just calling this creature El Vampire, the vampire of Mocha. We hadn't even come up with Chupacabra, which is what we know this creature of today. That name didn't come out until 1995. So there was this 20-year gap where there were no weird happenings, no reports of victims, and then in March of 1995, the animal attacks began again, but in a different region. There were
Hmm.
8 sheep discovered totally drained of blood with that same weird 3 puncture wound in the chest. And this was on an opposite side of the island from Mocha. The attacks continued all the way through until August of 1995. And this cluster of attacks was probably the most famous. It was in a town known as Canovanas, which is in the northeast province of Puerto Rico. And this is a famous incident because in one single night, over 150 farm animals were butchered in a single night.
Do they think there's still only one chupacabra? Because like 150, that's a lot
They believed
of
at that
ground
time
to
that they were
cover.
being overrun by chupacabras, like a full-out invasion of chupacabra.
So they breed and they have babies.
This is the implication. And you mentioned aliens. Another weird thing is that same night, more than 30 eyewitnesses claim to have seen creatures descend from the sky to begin sucking the blood of these animals.
Here we go again. They all commune
Yeah,
in a spaceship.
they all meet together in a spaceship. Super weird. Super weird. So, Canovanas called in a whole fleet of veterinarians to come perform necropsies on the 150 farm animals and pets, too, that were killed in that night. And what was found on nearly all of the animals was that, one, they were drained of blood, and then they had not 3, but actually 2 puncture wounds on the right side of their neck. And the wounds were about the diameter of a drinking straw and 3 to 4 inches separated from each other. So kind of like picture that. Isn't that bizarre? It sounds like a vampire.
That is really bizarre.
Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if you remember. So we've talked before about Monster Quest. There are a couple other similar shows out there when we were kids. I remember learning about Chupacabra on an Animal Planet special, and it featured the story of Madeline Tolentino, who probably is one of the most famous eyewitness people that saw the Chupacabra. She claimed to have been stalked by the beast and it tried to break into her home. So she actually went onto a radio show and was interviewed by radio host and comedian Silverio Perez. And it was during this interview that he actually coined the term chupacabra. So Perez is given like he gets the credit for having come up with that name that has stuck like so well in pop culture.
How long was she stalked by the creature? Like the
It was just
chupacabra?
that single night. If I remember right, her
What?
story was she was sitting at home one evening, and the windows were open because it was a balmy night and the breeze
Huh.
was coming in. And the creature got up on her balcony and was trying to enter her home. Um, I think she had a pet, so it wasn't clear if it was going after her pet or going after her. Either way, that is super creepy. I
Yeah,
would be horrified.
I agree. I would be too.
Mhm.
Hmm.
That's not a very nice nighttime visitor.
No, not.
Negatory.
That's weird. And it's still, huh.
Hmm.
So when did this chupacabra then evolve into the chupacabra that I'd mentioned at the beginning? Or will you get to that later?
It wasn't for a few more years after that.
Okay.
95, the chupacabra erupted across Puerto Rico, so much so that there were about 200 reports, not counting that night of the 150 animal slaying, but 200 reports across the territory of people encountering this cryptid. And then the following year, reports started to trickle in from areas that weren't just Puerto Rico. So it started going down into Central and South America, as far south as Argentina, and it also started going up into the US, as well as Mexico. So the version you're thinking of the chupacabra, which is more canid like, so more of a dog creature, so four-legged, on the ground, doesn't go up on 2 feet. That is very much a US and mostly Texas and desert Southwest kind of idea
Mm,
of the cryptid. Um,
okay.
Florida also had a lot of reports, but they seemed to either not see a creature and they seemed to just find dead animals. So, probably the biggest incident in Florida, a woman woke up to find 40 of her farm animals, goats, pigs, and chickens, drained of their blood. In Texas, tons and tons of ranchers found their cows and goats drained of their blood. And there was actually a carcass that was found in Texas, and that carcass was super weird looking. The Monster Quest episode in Chupacabra dives into this one pretty heavy. They actually collect samples from the carcass. It was collected by a woman whose name is escaping me. I know she's still really, in her heart of hearts, feels that this was the creature that victimized her livestock, I suppose. However, when they did DNA tests on the animal she collected, it came back as a crossbreed of a coyote and I think it was Mexican red wolf. And it was just
Oh.
a canid like that, about that same size, with a really, really bad case of mange.
Okay. Because I thought there was like a taxidermied chupacabra somewhere, and maybe that is the one that I'm thinking of.
That is the one because she paid to have it then stuffed.
Yes. Okay. I'd also probably pay to have it stuffed. I mean,
I mean, if you really like, if you staked your reputation on that being chupacabra, and you really thought with all your heart that it was, I would stuff it too.
yeah, I would stuff it too.
I'd also be scared of it like reanimating on me though, so more power to her.
You're just gonna stare at it,
Yeah,
put it in a cage,
poke it a little bit.
and have it displayed. Yeah.
Yeah, and it does have very menacing and really prominent uh what are these called? The
Fangs.
fangs. Yeah, canines, fangs. But the DNA test did come back as a crossbreed of a coyote and a red wolf. Um, and we'll we'll talk a bit more about this um in a beach in a bit, because there's some other weirdness around those Texas encounters. And
Okay.
there's a video that I wanna call out too. So um I think we most often associate the Texan chupacabra with that four-legged canid creature. But yeah, the Texas thing is super weird. Let's talk about that right now. So one theory was that the animal people were seeing in Texas was infected with sarcoptic mange. Have you heard of it before?
No.
So it's like a really, really bad version of mange. I think sarcoptic has the same root word as like scarab. So it's just a severe bug that gets under your skin causes all the hair to fall off, and then the skin actually gets so inflamed that it gets scarred. And then also,
Oh,
as the skin swells, it looks firm, it looks harder and like grayer.
yeah.
And also, your face swells, and so the swelling of the face could actually make it so that the canines that those creatures have look way more menacing, just because their whole proportions get way thrown off.
I just looked it up. It looks awful.
Yeah, it looks weird, right?
Yeah.
And important to note that coyotes and red wolves are native to Texas and northern Mexico. Now, I think red wolves are endangered or definitely are not in the quantities you'd expect them to be, but still, crossbreeds happen all the time of
Oh, yeah.
foxes, dogs, and coyotes, and also wolves. So, not over the realm of possibility that could have been what it was. Similar time period, they had an alleged video of a four-legged canid chupacabra that was caught running down Slaughter Beach, Delaware. In that video, you can pull it up online and look at it, but experts have debunked that as being like a fox or a coyote, also with really, really bad mange. So,
Aw.
you know, I don't I don't put a ton of credence behind the canid version. To me, in my worldview, I kind of hope the chupacabras are real and they're actually just like semi-terrestrial, semi-extraterrestrial, and like coming in and out, and like these mangy coyotes are taking the fall for what are actually cryptid attacks.
You Do you think they're actually not mangy coyotes and it is just a different species of chupacabra, but because nobody wants to have mass hysteria, the easiest thing to say is, nah, it's just a coyote with mange?
It's possible.
Because I like to think that there's a version of that chupacabra out there like that.
But I have to
And
say
in
that, like,
fact,
objectively, the reptile is cooler. It looks
I
really cool.
agree completely, but I would like to have both versions.
That's fair. Like a world with all of the above.
Yeah.
I
Like,
love it.
it's a romance between a lizard creature and a werewolf creature, and they just, fell in love and had the chupacabra.
I love that.
One of their offspring being a lizard version and the other being the dog version.
It's a beautiful romance. It's a cryptid romance.
It's a beautiful romance.
But I really do feel like what's happening here is that Chupacabra is landing places and sucking out livestock, and then people are blaming the mangy coyotes. That's what I feel like is happening. There's also a really cool. This is creepy. There's
But
another creepy
coyotes don't
video.
suck blood.
So I think the Chupacabra's coming, sucking out the things, and they're blaming the creepy looking coyotes, but the Chupacabra's landing. So go to YouTube and look for it's this weird video of the chupacabra, and it was filmed in El Paso, and it looks like a bipedal, like lizard man, reptilian creature, like chasing this couple. So that was around the same area that they had those attacks. So I'm like, well, maybe that thing was out there, sucking the blood and stuff, and they happened to find this random sick red wolf coyote hybrid, and then it took the fall. I think it's a cover up to find a more digestible truth, um, but that the big ass reptilian chupacabras are still out there. That's what I think.
Hmm.
This is what I hope is true.
Yeah. When did you say that was?
That was I think I don't have a date on the El Paso video.
Interesting.
I wish chupacabra was real.
It has to be out there. Again, I think the world's big enough where there are places that humans have yet to go. I know people will probably like, no, we discovered everything. Nah, not really.
There's a lot we don't know. No.
There's a lot
Um,
we don't know.
so let's talk about some theories around what chupacabra was or was not. Sound good?
Yes.
All right, so January 1995, a movie came out called Species that featured an alien predator. So again, I'm going to have you look this up. Look up the monster from the 1995 Species movie.
Think I know.
Its name is Syl.
Hmm.
You see it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So, um, now granted, Syl has nipples and boobs. No one saw the chupacabra with nipples and boobs. But some people say that the spines on the back and the claws on the fingers look exactly like the reports especially of Miss Tolentino of the creature. So they think it was all made up based on the movie that came out in January of that year. Do you buy it?
No. Well, so hold on. Do I think that the movie was based off the Chupacabra, or was the Chupacabra based off this movie?
Do you think the Chupacabra was based off this movie? Like people thought they were seeing the creature from the movie.
No, because aren't the sightings way before this movie even happened?
You're totally right. Yeah. So the 1995 sightings started in March, but there were still those 1975 sightings of the vampire of Mocha. So, maybe that influenced it, but it doesn't align because those vampire of Mocha sightings were way before the movie came out.
Way
So
before the movie.
even if you want to just cross out the 200 plus reports in Puerto Rico in 95, like what the heck was the Mocha thing then? You know?
You you can't just avoid the 200 plus reports, and not to mention the 100 and some animals that were butchered.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
yeah,
Like that's a huge toll. So I don't buy theory number 1. You want to hear theory number 2?
yeah, I'm ready for theory number 2.
All right. So it was all made up because people misidentified predation from normal Puerto Rican predators as chupacabra. So I know. So this is the logic here. So 95 followed a particularly bad drought year for Puerto Rico. He wrote really specifically researcher and author Benjamin Radford, who published a book called Tracking the Chupacabra, the Vampire Beast. Radford suggested that drought put pressure on native predators in the area that then started looking for easier prey, aka livestock and domestic pets. And maybe people just mistook what they were seeing. The thought is, I wish this isn't a visual medium until we publish these videos, but you're making the most skeptical face. The thought is that when predators are hungry, they tend to be more violent, and then they lash out and they're sloppier, and they might also overhunt, hence multiple victims. What are your thoughts?
That is very true. I mean, again, with the grizzly man, he was around bears that were starving. That was very unusual for a bear to do. However, I've never been to Puerto Rico, so do they have giant lizard type animals down there?
No, they do not. So the only native predators in Puerto Rico of that size are mongoose and coyotes, and then there are also rhesus monkeys that are on the island that aren't native but got introduced in the 30s.
So you're telling me because of a drought, coyotes turned into bipedal reptiles?
Yes, I believe that is.
I don't believe it. No.
Yeah, I don't buy that either.
I don't buy that.
And so Radford cites, yeah, go ahead.
Since we do know that there have been animal attacks, do we have any footprints of the chupacabra?
We have no casted footprints, but they did claim to find a bunch of 3-toed tracks of them, but there are no pictures or stuff online of it.
I believe it. Without proof, I still believe it.
I tend to believe sighting reports. That's just me as a person, for better or for worse.
I agree.
Yeah.
Same.
Yes.
I believe it. Okay,
Yeah.
continue.
All right. So, I mentioned the necropsies of the victims from that 150 animal victim night. In 7 attacks, they found, but only 7, they found the bodies of animals recovered had DNA of local predators. But my thing is, that DNA is in the ecosystem. They're going to encounter that anyway. So I don't know that
touch DNA.
Yeah, that's you can't cause an effect and say that yes, there's DNA on there, therefore that they must have caused these killings. I don't buy that.
Exactly. No, I don't like that. I don't.
Nope. So let me give you the last big theory, and this one's kind of weird. You ready?
Love it. Yeah.
All right. Theory number 3: that chupacabras are very, very real, and they are in fact a chimeric creation of the U.S. government. Yeah, yeah. I
mean, you know, I love a good government conspiracy theory.
I know you do. I know.
I believe it.
Yes. So the logic of this, a lot of the sightings, yeah.
Continue before I say what.
Okay, all right. So this is the supporting evidence for this. Sightings were clustered around El Yunque National Rainforest. It's a protected space of over 28,000 acres, including a mountain range called Sierra de Luquillo. It's also the only tropical rainforest in any U.S. state or territory. And some folks believe the U.S. government had a lab deep in El Yunque where they had top secret experiments, and they used the rhesus monkeys that were imported into the island in the 30s to create a genetic super beast for the military.
Why is the government just want some kind of super beast? And not just our government.
Yeah.
Okay?
Shout out to Wes Grimmer from Sasquatch Chronicles. I recently heard of this person who basically confirmed that there are labs in the US where they're creating chimeric creatures. So I don't know, not out of the realm of possibility.
I have listened to enough podcasts where they have people call in and they're like, "Yeah, I'm ex-military, worked in a lab, couldn't go by my real name, couldn't talk about any of this, but I'm now left and they're really risking it calling in." I believe that.
Yeah, I tend to believe it too. And to be fair, the U.S. has a long, long, long history of exploiting Puerto Rico for its resources. So it would be just one other example of exploiting a territory that we treat like a colony for resources and running experiments of a deadly creature and scaring, the living shit out of people living there. Par for the course, really, for the U.S. government.
Yeah. So out of all those theories,
Hmm.
I want to say I believe the last one the most.
Hmm.
Um, However, I also like to think that it's just a creature that nobody really knows anything about, and the best thing for people to do is blame it on the government, which, I'm right there with you. Okay? I don't know.
It's an enduring mystery,
It's
and, like, reports carry on even to this day, and it has exploded globally. There are reports in India, there are reports in Ukraine, there are reports all over the place. It's kind of an incredible phenomena, truly, and some people think that the fact that there are so many, like there's that dimorphism, like the canid one versus the reptilian one is
Mhm.
evidence that it doesn't exist, but, I disagree. I feel like
I don't
having
think
two
that's evidence
descriptions.
that it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I think it's people are seeing things out there and they want to know what it is. It doesn't mean both don't exist.
And they're just trying to compare it to something familiar because it's something that's not familiar.
Yeah, I
So
totally agree.
has this chupacabra, since it is lizard-esque, been
Mhm.
compared to the lizard man?
So never directly, but you have to draw a lot of parallels there. And it's funny that I've done two reptilian episodes back to back because they are very similar, their descriptions. Now they move differently. So the lizard man was very fluid and it's quite a bit bigger than chupacabra. Chupacabra seems to really hop, like hops around. It's not very graceful.
Like a kangaroo. Yeah, you did say.
Yeah.
I still think the size is just like 4 to 5 feet versus a cow.
Hmm. They're scrappy. Or they're
They
running in a
have to
pack.
be.
Or they're in a pack. What do you suppose they
Yeah.
call a group of chupacabra? What name would we give them?
Kabbalah cabras.
And I found another thing in my research that I can't help myself but mentioning. So yes, this story is totally bonkers and like wild and out there, but like Chupacabra does in fact echo a lot of other ancestral vampire myths. And there's one specific one. So I'm gonna butcher this word. I think it's in Mandarin. It's a Chinese word, jiangxi, which is a vampire made of a reanimated corpse, and it's literally translated to the hopping vampire. Isn't that weird? So, like, would move in the
Interesting.
exact same way people describe Chupacabra moving, and it sucks out the life force of its victims, right?
So, so it's a corpse.
Uh-huh.
Was it like a human corpse at one time that came back?
And maybe this is a whole other cryptid episode for us, but I believe so. It is a reanimated human corpse that comes back as a hopping vampire. Mm-hmm.
And that's why they put grates over graves
Correct.
during a certain time period.
Yes. When I die, Kissy, I want to go one of two ways. Put me on a barge, fill the barge up with straw, and then send a flaming arrow onto the barge and let me burn down.
So you want a Viking funeral?
Correct. Or
Okay.
no embalming, pine casket, stake through the heart, and bury me upside down. All right?
Why upside down?
Yeah, extra protection.
Okay.
I don't want to be a vampire
I
girl.
I would just prefer to be cremated. Burn
I
me.
mean,
My ashes can't come back to anything.
that's true. Should we sprinkle you anywhere specific?
Do what you wish. Put me in an antique store.
Some people turn their relatives into like jewelry, like they press down their grandma into like a diamond. I don't know. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't wear a lot of jewelry, so I'll tell you this. Before I would wear any of my relatives as jewelry, I would wear my pets.
Same, same. Otherwise, I feel like a relative jewelry would be super, super haunted. um. So yeah, I think we both believe Chupacabra is real.
On a scale of 1 to, what did we do, 5?
Oh yeah, what's our believability scale? 1 to 5.
4.
All right, solid.
Yeah, 4.
Why?
I do think the theory of the government's humanoid could be a very good one,
Same.
but I also think that it could just be a creature out there that has mutated.
Yeah, I think there's so much that we don't know. So I'm gonna label her a. I'm gonna go with a 3 on this one. I want her to be real, and I think if she was real, to me, most likely scenario would be a government chimera kind of thing, because I tend to trust people of Puerto Rico feeling objectified and used by the U.S. government. I understand that feeling.
Yeah.
And I could see that happening. Um,
I could see that happening too.
I hope she's real, and I don't want to meet her because she sounds horrifying.
And if she is a government created thing, I hope she goes back and gets all the people that did that to her.
Oh my god, I hope so. Go snallygast them.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
snallygast them.
Oh yeah.
Get them when they least expect it in the porta potty.
All right. So, whether
Ugh.
real or completely fabricated in a folk myth, Chupacabra has, in fact, cemented herself as a pop diva. She, he, it, whomever has been mentioned limitless times in a plethora of movies, TV shows, books, and popular discourse. For me and my own personal viewing pleasure, some standouts are X-Files, Teen Titans, Supernatural, Grimm, and also South Park. They've all featured our
Ooh,
scaly girl. So, shout out to our They Be
love that.
Yeah. I couldn't find a specific Chupacabra song, so I apologize about that, but
I was just gonna ask.
I could not find one. But we could make up
Okay.
one right now. Do you want to make up one?
I'm not musically inclined.
Chupacabra, our blood-sucking girl. She flies on her little tiny wings to go find the goats and eat them.
Wait, does she have wings?
Some people say she has little tiny wings.
Little tiny wings.
Yeah, little tiny wings. Our girly Chupacabra on her little tiny wings.
Oh my god.
Is that the title? I'm not sure.
That's the title. Our girl's got tiny wings. Oh. Well, that was excellent.
You liked it?
I love that.
Okay,
That
good.
was good.
So if anybody's seen Chupacabra, we want you to write in with your field notes. Tell us.
Tell us, have you seen this? What are your thoughts?
Do you believe in the canid version more so, or the reptilian version, or is there a third one we didn't touch on that I just don't know about? Let us know below.
Ooh, yeah, tell us. Let us know your field notes. And tune in next week for another interesting story.
In the meantime, you can find us on Facebook at
Field Notes from the Unknown.
You can find us on Instagram at
Field Notes from the Unknown.
Also on YouTube at
Field Notes from the Unknown.
and send us an email on fieldnotesfromtheunknown@gmail.com.
All right, bye.